everybody. It's Jeff Mullin again from SKMAC. Hope everybody's having a good day. I've got Jeff Short and Bob Laino from Chauvet DJ here, and we're going to talk a little bit about some Chauvet DJ fixtures that might be applicable for some of the things you guys are doing right now. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you're staying well and ready to talk about some lighting solutions during this crazy time for sure.
Well, thank you. Bob, how's it in North Carolina right now?
Everything is fantastic, doing as well as possible. Again, to you both, Jeffs, J and G. Hope you're all doing well. Hope family's doing well. Very quick moment here. I know it's late, but to all the moms out there listening, happy Mother's Day, even though it's a day late.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, well, let's dig in. What do you have for us, Jeff?
You know, this is a fantastic time for opportunity. I've been saying this to a lot of people that I've been talking with over the last few weeks. It seems like a crazy time, and it's very easy to, it is a crazy time, and it's easy to get sort of pessimistic about things, with events not happening and sort of our lives put on hold. But the silver lining to all of this is that it's an incredible time for opportunity. And it's an opportunity to sort of reinvent ourselves and how we look at our businesses in general, especially in the entertainment field, in the event field. It's an opportunity to rediscover things about our gear, whether that's staging or video or audio or lighting. And it's an opportunity to find new markets. This whole thing is forcing us to reinvent ourselves and forcing us to rethink how we do everything. And so, this is a great time to really look at what the future of events are going to look like and what the future of lighting is going to look like. And we know that streaming technology and presentations are not only a necessity now, but are the way of the future. And we've sort of stumbled into this. We're making mistakes as we go. We really don't know what we're doing a lot of the time, but we're doing it. And it's forcing us to get out of our comfort zones. And I think that things are only going to get better. I think a lot of times that we really have to look at what is happening out there in general. And we can see day after day, week after week, people are getting inventive and creative about how they are streaming their presentations. So we got DJ sets happening every night. I logged on to, Twitch, which I don't really know anything about, honestly. But the entire thing in the entertainment segment of Twitch was DJs doing live sets. We've got live bands doing things. We've got, corporate presentations. So what are those lighting opportunities in all of those segments? Have you guys been seeing the same thing from where you're at?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the local DJs are doing virtual DJ sets, and in fact, one of the DJs I know actually was hired a couple of times to do music in and out of their corporate Zoom meetings. So it was almost like having a virtual party with the DJ for about 15 minutes before the Zoom meeting and afterwards, so people could have the music and kind of just relax.
That's awesome. And we've been trying to find, stories like that, and we've been gathering them from around the country and around the world about cool opportunities like that we never thought of before. And that's really what this talk is kind of about today, that I kind of wanted to share with you guys and get your feedback on. So to me, there's a couple main categories of these streaming presentations. So you've got sort of the band and DJ world, and then you've got sort of the corporate, more sort of direct, more dry presentation for educational videos, corporate meetings, and things like that. Of course, there's overlap in between those, but those are the kind of main areas that I've seen emerge over the last few weeks, and have kind of been thinking about, okay, so let's talk about what lighting can help in those areas. So if we talk about, for instance, if we talk about band lighting, we've seen a lot of small combos, solo people from their bedrooms. We've seen a couple, duos and trios, even full bands that are doing things remotely and virtually. This is an area that's really going to bounce back, I feel like. While we can't gather in crowds at bars and nightclubs right now, the presentations are going to increase and get better and better. It's a real opportunity for people out there who have some lighting to help with these situations. And you know what? Before I go any further, this is something I wanted to kind of talk to you guys too about. Yes, it's important that we talk about sort of the sales aspect of things, but for me, the focus right now is not go out and buy things. We know people are struggling right now, and so as I talk about some of these fixtures, and as we have these conversations, the focus is really, from my perspective, just on sharing some feedback that we've gotten from people around the world, sparking a little bit of inspiration, and helping with a little bit of lighting education in terms of what products are available. And it's more a matter of, if you have products that are like these, you can put them to work in these ways. So I always like to stress, that this is a tough time for everybody. And so our message is not, hey, go out and buy things. We know groceries are tight right now, but you really need this new, Bluetooth light. That's not the message. That will come. What we're trying to do is just share some ideas. What do you guys think?
No, I agree. And I think the more people know about how to get themselves looking good on these streams, the better the presentations will be, and people are going to go out and get the stuff if they need it, and if they don't, that's okay as well.
And like I said, they might already have them. They might already have fixtures like the ones we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And rather than have them collect dust during this time, again, I go back to my first message: this is a time of opportunity. Yep. So find that opportunity and explore it.
Okay.
Right, so
let's dive in. Let's see some of this stuff.
So I think the when we talk about bands, we've seen a lot of inspiration from national and international presentations online. The American, the country music, our country presentation, the One World Together at Home presentation, and we can see things like Saturday Night Live happening virtually, American Idol, The Voice. All these things are happening from artists in their homes. Yeah. How do we light those? And what are some good fixtures? So the first thing that I go to is Bluetooth fixtures, because the whole idea of Bluetooth lighting from Chauvet DJ is simplicity and low barrier of entry. Whether it's cost or learning or control, all of those are low barriers to entry in terms of some really cool lights. So we have a whole complete line of fixtures. These I'm focusing on here are just the battery powered ones. We also have conventionally powered ones. So there's pretty self-explanatory. There's two PAR units, the PAR Q4 and the PAR Q6, and then a linear strip light, the strip Q6. So obviously these are the Q stands for quad, RGBA, which is red, green, blue, and amber. They are all battery powered, as I said, and they are all Bluetooth compatible. So I think before we get into Bluetooth, the other important thing to know about these fixtures is whether you use them with Bluetooth or not, they are great lights in terms of wash applications, whether, in terms of auto programs, and they all have DMX in, DMX out. So they have, the auto programs built in, static colors, conventional control, they can be used as well. But if you are an artist that it just wants to touch a button and get some color behind you for a streaming concert, then you could download BT Air, and I have a couple lights behind me. I have it right on my back wall. BT Air is a free download, and so you can see those lights behind me sort of. I have them sort of on a dim color just so they, the computer camera doesn't wash out completely. But this couldn't be easier. I can change the color anytime I want from the color wheel. I can go to something like a red color, which looks more pink and purple from your perspective. But BT Air is the name of the app, downloadable on iOS and Android tablets, phones, you name it. They are good to go, and you can start to easily control your Bluetooth fixtures effortlessly. So that's a great option for people who have their hands full with guitars, keyboards, where they can just touch a button and get a look. So
even drummers like myself can program lights.
There you go. And if a drummer can do it, trust me, anybody can do it.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
Hey, Jeff, just out of curiosity, if someone doesn't know, the battery, let's say full on, which is all 4 colors, red, green, blue, amber, on versus single color. Well, what are we looking at on battery life?
Yeah, so you're gonna on a full charge with a static color, you're easily going to get up to 8 hours, six to 8 hours of life on these things, more than enough for any event or streaming concert. And these Bluetooth products were designed for smaller spaces anyway. So whether it's a bedroom or a studio or a basement or a cafe, these are the perfect applications for Bluetooth lights, as opposed to the larger, huge ballrooms that aren't happening right now anyway. And that all has to do with Bluetooth technology and its limitations and things like that. So again, was made for simplicity, ease of use, and ease of control. And so that I like to start off when we're talking about bands and artists and DJs that have their hands full. This is a great way to do that. But another great way is something like an all-in-one pack and go system that has multiple effects all in one bar. Because again, if you're talking about band lighting or a DJ set, you may want some more dynamic effects and visual eye candy. So the Gig Bar Move is a great option for that. The Gig Bar 2 is a great option for that. 4-bar, 4-play, all of those pack and go systems that are with everything on one bar, that come with a tripod, come with a bag, come with a foot switch, easy control, everything all in one. Doesn't get easier than that. And the Gig Bar Move, of course, has moving heads on it even still. So, a great option for bands. So, and I know the Gig Bar Move has been crazy popular as well.
Yeah,
so, now, those are just a few suggestions. If people are wanting to dive a little deeper, of course, we encourage them to go to chauvetdj.com. We have things broken down by applications and series and things like that, where they can dive a little deeper and look for other products, because there's a lot of them. I'm just kind of giving a few brainstorms here to keep the conversation going. If we move to the more corporate side of things, now the issue becomes not so much color and dynamic energy and movement as it does clarity and brightness and being able to see the speaker or the subject at hand. So many of we're stumbling into this technology, but a lot of us still haven't figured out that in a dark room with a single desk lamp on, that image is probably going to be pretty grainy and pretty blurry, and you don't have any visual interest to that presentation. And so we have some products that are designed for things like that as well. So our family of Eve line products are fantastic, because these things are warm white, cool white. They're variable white options that are really versatile, and have high CRI, which is going to make skin tones look great. They're going to be bright. We've just done a video that we can share the link with people watching this that kind of gives some pointers about light placement. You know, we've all heard about the triangle formation of two lights, and then maybe a light from behind, and then some color wash on a back wall to separate the subject from the back wall. These are a great key light solution, that main light that's going to shine on your subject. So we have the Eve P100. It's a 100-watt par warm white fixture. We have the F50Z. The F50Z is actually a Fresnel fixture. It's got a soft edge warm white spot. By the way, many of these are also DeFi USB compatible. That means that you could buy a separate DeFi USB, looks like a flash drive unit, that is inserted into the fixture that is a transceiver. Now it can receive wireless DMX signal. So again, very versatile. Comes with the gel frame holder. Again, it's a warm white LED with high CRI. It's got true natural colors for the skin. The TF20 is a little bit of a different thing. It's a more compact luminaire fixture that comes in, it resembles the shape and form factor of a Fresnel. Again, warm white, comes with the barn doors, so you can aim the light exactly where you want it. And in that video I was referring to, we were using two of those at one point on the subject. And then we have the P140 VW. This is a 140-watt variable white par fixture. It's got interchangeable magnetic lenses, so you can change the beam angle. All of these have PowerCon connections except for the TF20, which is a compact, again, it's a small light. But they have PowerCon in and out, very robust steel housing, DeFi USB compatibility again. Great key light solutions for these corporate and educational presentations. Bob, what else am I leaving out? What should people know about these, do you think?
Honestly, I mean, going back to the TF20, it's just one of my favorite lights. I actually use it, and I'm going to steal one of your phrases, Jeff, as one of my key lights when I am doing some of my Zoom meetings. I'm in a very small space here in my home office in Raleigh. So my key light is just my TF20s coming down. You can either get it in black or white housing, which is actually a very nice option. But also the track on it, you can just track them. Like you said, comes with the barn doors, so you can kind of hone in your light. It's just the perfect little light. As you need to get bigger and broader, your Eve P series is just some of the best par wash lights out there that money can buy. But again, just the crispness of the optics on these things and the warmth of these fixtures, they're just perfect lights for what you're looking to do on larger corporate and educational presentations.
Yeah, and these are on the higher end of the DJ product scale. These are high-end pro feature fixtures. So again, the idea is, hey, you guys all need to go buy each one of these things, you know. But the critical point is something that's going to make skin tone look good and is going to be bright enough for the subject talking. Now you can see, for anybody looking at the three of us, there's some differences here in terms of how we look, you know, based on what lighting we're using. And so Jeff in the middle looks like, we can see him, but it looks like he's got his basic, you know, office light on, you know, the room light, whatever's overhead.
Yep.
And so his skin is a little bit washed out, maybe. You know, I don't see the warmth to his skin, and he's also, there's not a depth to separate him from the back wall. So it's kind of, things look a little bit on one plane. My lighting here is by no means any stretch of how things should be, but there are some differences in that I've got some color on the back wall, and you can see it's actually still too bright because I'm dimming this down from my phone just to what that does is help me stand out from the back wall a little bit. I've also got an amber fixture that's shining on me from here. And then I've got another sort of cool white fixture. There's no reason why I'm mixing these. It's just what I have here in my home coming at me from this way. And then all of us have sort of the light from our monitors that shine up from on us as well. But the point is there are differences, you know, and what visual interest are you trying to create with your presentation? So I think the thing is to kind of really take that into consideration, and because Jeff's presentation is perfectly acceptable and professional and clean, and we can see him. The question then goes into what about interesting, you know, especially if we're talking about lighting and events and things like that. So just things to take into consideration and things that I've picked up from people, again, and other places around the world. We've got some more solutions for things like that. This is the SlimPar Pro W USB. Again, when you see the USB, DeFi USB compatible. This is another high end of the DJ line fixture. Very robust aluminum housing. It's a variable white fixture. So you've got cool white, warm white, and amber, all from this par. This is the SlimPar Pro W USB. So again, similar fixtures would do similar jobs, but this is a very powerful option for that. Finally, in that regard, too,
yeah. Sorry, man. I wanted to touch on one other thing on the SlimPar Pro W, because as live streaming is continually establishing itself and all industries are embracing it, they're video taping everything. They have these on video conference. So it's nice to know that lights like the SlimPar Pro W are also flicker free. So that's actually a very, very important thing to note on a fixture when they're taping everything.
That's a huge point, is flicker free, and because not all lights are, and depending on what camera you're using, you can get different results. But the whole Eve series, the SlimPar Pro series, are all going to give you that nice camera presentation. So yes, thank you for that. That's a great point. Another great option is the Freedom series for both wash light on a back wall, but also key light. The Freedom H1 obviously is a very compact fixture. Here my friend Brent Schmidt is doing his online DJ set, and you can see his innovative use of a bunch of Freedom H1s just magnetized to this steel bar behind him. So he's not using this as key light here. He's using it more as eye candy in the back, but what an inventive use of this compact 100% wireless, fixture that has wireless DMX built into it. So he has complete control over it without any cabling, without any brackets, nothing, because of the magnetic base. And so he's not using it as key light, but again, I'm using the Freedom H1 here as key light. This is a hex colored fixture, red, green, blue, amber, white, and UV. Right now I have it set to amber, just to give me a little bit of glow to offset this sort of, you can see on my hand how kind of rude that desktop lamp is. So I'm just kind of warming off both lights, and you can kind of see the difference there. So I'm just kind of mixing key light with one of my Freedom H1s. So Freedom H1 is a great solution for key light and also for that back eye candy as well. So when I talk about band lighting and DJ lighting and corporate event lighting, all things for streaming, another sort of innovative opportunity here is for those of you watching who might be a little more advanced. These are services that you can provide, understanding we have a whole new market niche now. And it's not even a niche. This is going to be a major market segment, this streaming presentation thing that we're into right now. So you can provide your lights to people doing streaming presentations, and whether you want to maintain your social distancing, and right now you can certainly drop lights off to people that are easily plug and playable. They can Venmo you or whatever money for, it's like your own little mini, sort of social distance rental company. And one of the aspects to that that I've seen in some places in the world is providing some DMX programming. So if you're advanced in your lighting use a little bit, you could, knowing what your client wants for this presentation, Jeff, like you mentioned, somebody hired somebody to do some music for a corporate presentation. They could do the same thing for lighting. You could figure out, okay, how long is your presentation? What looks do you need? How long does each scene need to be? You could pre-program that with something like Show Express, and then what you could do is download those pre-programmed shows into an interface like the Express 1024 or the Express 512S, each that hold one DMX program without the use of any laptop. So your client doesn't have to be burdened with this. I mean, they will need some production help in terms of setting up the lights, but the idea is you have a whole package. Here are your 3 lights. Here is your interface. What you need to do is plug a USB cable into your first light and turn it on and set it to this channel. Everything's preset. So all they have to do is set them up and load them up and hit go when it's time. So I just wanted to bring that up as another idea in terms of lighting during this time and some options, for like I said, both the more entertainment-based segment and the more corporate-based segment. It's the right tool for the right job. What's that going to be, and what are your opportunities? This is a great time for opportunities.
Yep. Well, Jeff, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. Bob, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us and for the chance to keep talking about it.
All right. Well, we'll get you back. We'll talk, hopefully, after this is all over, we'll talk about getting back to some normalcy and some normal lighting options. Thanks.
We'll get there, brother. We'll get there. Stay well.
One day at a time, everyone. Have a great day.